Found Interest episode 2, because we're going to be posting this one before the other one. We already recorded some. But we wanted to talk about our moms today because Mother's Day is on Sunday and we're recording this on a Friday. They don't need all the deets. But yeah, we're going to talk about moms. So, yay.
Yay.
Okay, so who wants to go first? Who do we say?
You can do whoever.
Chloe.
Okay.
Chloe. Yay.
So my mom's name's Keely. I wrote down a lot of things.
Read it all.
Some of them are like little memories that I have, but I feel like they speak to who my mom is.
I like that.
But for starters, my mom, like any sporting event or the short time that I did band or any school thing, like she always showed up to everything. Like she was never not there. And then when I was really little, anytime I had to take medicine, my mom would be like, do you want to take it or do you want me to shove it down your throat? And I'd be like, shove it down my throat. And then something that happened recently.
I'm just sorry, that story is just so funny.
I was thinking about being a new mom, and when I was in labor for a long time, it was like, I don't know what time it was, actually. It was really early in the morning, and my husband was like, hey, your mom wants to come see you. Do you care if she comes up here? And I was like, please no. But then at the same time, I was like, all I want is my mom right now. And so she like came up to sit with me for a long time, and it's just like, even though I was about to become a mom, I still needed my mom.
Yeah.
But my mom works really hard. She's a great listener, and she's always treated all of my friends like family. So that's my mom.
I can I add to your momness? I was thinking today about the story about how your mom would be like, do you want to take it or do you want me to shove it down your throat?
Because of Shiloh?
Yeah, this morning Shiloh had to take his medicine because he's sick right now. And I literally, like, I could just sat him on the counter and I was like, do you want to take this? Or am I going to have to hold you down and put it in your mouth? Like, and it was just so funny because I like have heard you tell that story so many times. And I was like, I'm literally living that story right now. And Shiloh did not say, shove it down my throat. He was like, no. He just said no to everything. Anyway, I put it in orange juice and he finally took it. So, and then the other thing I was thinking about, I think about your mom is how Noah, that one time that his friends ate all your cinnamon rolls on your birthday and like you were like in the 8th grade or something. And then she was really upset. And instead of like being like actually like really upset or like she like taped a sign with their faces on the pantry and was like, these boys can't eat here.
Like with their faces crossed out.
Yeah. And I just feel like that's like so like
I
your
think
mom.
she was more upset than I was.
Probably. Well, because she made them.
Yeah, that's true.
We're totally throwing them under the bus, but also that was true. Yeah, anyway, that's what I think of. Do you want to say something about Keely maybe? Do you have a memory you want to share?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm sorry. No, wait, no, I'm going to be on the spot. I just, because I said something, so I was like, maybe we could all pitch in about each other's moms. Yeah.
I think it's just that, like, she's so, like, go with the flow, and so her kids are like that, too, which I feel like is nice, like, having a spouse that's go with the flow, because I'm so, like, not that way. So Micah kind of, like, calms me down. I feel like Keely does that for Matt, and she taught y'all just, you know, like, it's okay, like, if things don't go, like, exactly according to plan, we'll figure it out. She's just such, like, a hard worker.
She's calm.
Yeah, she's very,
and that's
very
so nice
calm.
in, like, hectic scenarios.
Yeah, that would probably be the word I would use to describe her mom, is calm. Yeah, that's good. My turn? Okay. I put notes as well, and, like, 5 seconds ago. I don't know how to use this phone. Okay. I put, I did the 3 words thing like you did. So I put that my mom, her name is Trina, and that I just love her. I'm like, I'm happy to be talking about her. The number 1 word that I would use to describe my mom is selfless. I think that she's like I can't even describe like how much she gives and gives and gives. She just gives until she doesn't have any more, which sometimes I'm like, Mom, like, you need to stop doing that. But also like it's really like a beautiful thing about her. it could just pick so many things that she does that is selfless, but it wouldn't do it justice. So just literally like everything and in her life. And then I also put that she's hardworking, because I think that my mom is a really hard worker. Like, she doesn't really know how to like not work hard. Everything she does like 100%. And she's just so like, even when she's not motivated, you know what I mean? Like, she does it anyway. And I just really admire that, because I don't have any any self motivation like whatsoever. I'm very like outwardly motivated, which I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that I recognize that about myself. So, and then I also put that she's creative, because I like, when growing up, she was a stay-at-home mom for most of the time, but she would always like she always had like a random like side thing going on. Like, there was a time period where she would make like gift baskets, and she had like this whole like where we live now in the shop. It used to just be like a massive gift basket making like factory. Did you know that? And she like had ribbons everywhere, and like she would like wrap these massive baskets up after she made them, like put them in plastic. And she like had, my dad made her like stuff to put the ribbons. She did that for a while. And she also like did this thing where she was making these like barbed wire crosses with beads on them, and she would like sell them. And I don't know, she just was like always doing something like that. And busybody. Yeah, she's just so busy, which is like not, we're just so different. But anyway, I just like, I just admire her in all those areas. And I don't know why I said this. I put that she had me when she was 27, which has just been on my mind because I just turned 27 and I always wanted to be 27. And now I'm 27. So I don't know. So anyway. Yeah.
Oldie.
Yeah, I'm old. So I guess we don't all know each other's moms as much as we know Keely, because we're all related to her. So that's okay. We don't have to. Do you have anything on my mom?
I just think she's just like the sweetest person.
I was gonna say kind.
She's just so kind.
Like, whenever we have like showers or stuff at her house, she's just like the sweetest host.
Yeah.
Always
She's
everybody has everything they need.
She's just always like easy to talk to.
Yeah, that's sweet. My mom's really like bubbly, and all my friends growing up said that same thing. They were like, your mom is like our favorite mom, you know, like she's the best. And she was just like you said, like our house was like the house that all the kids like wanted to be at growing up. It was just like the doors were never shut. Like, we always had so many like people in and out of our house. It was just like, yeah. So she gets along with everybody.
The first word I had about my mom was caring. Growing up, she'd wake up at 4 a.m., go to work, and then, so she worked an hour away, so she'd drive an hour, work all day, drive an hour, get us home, and, like, take us to all our events. And then she'd cook us dinner when we were done. Yeah. I mean, me and Emery did sports and band and stuff like that, like, all growing up. So, I mean, she just was, like, never stopped. She always went. Didn't matter, like, how tired she was. She was just, you know, she put me and Emery first above herself a lot of times, which I feel like is what moms do, but... Yeah. It's looking back, like, now that, like, I have, like, a job, I'm, like, so tired at the end of the day, and I told her, I was like, I don't know how you did it, because I couldn't do it right now. I go home and go to sleep. So, another word that I had for her was resilient. I feel like we've had a lot of hardships this year in the family, and she was just there for everybody. She, like, even though she had a lot going on, she was always there for me and Emery, whatever we needed. Yeah. But... she's a very strong person. I don't know, like, how she does it. Yeah. But also, she's very faithful. This whole, like, cancer journey, she's just always, like, said that, you know, like, y'all is so good. Like, even though, like, we don't understand, like, what's, like, why this is all happening. Like, it's for his good, for his kingdom, you know? And, like, she taught me and Emery really how to look at, like, we have a different relationship with y'all now than we did before, like, all of this happened, is because I feel like you had to put so much of your trust into him, and it's hard to see his goodness through that all, but she's, like, the one that's, like, taught us, like, how to do that, so. Yeah,
like, she's the one that has the issue, and she's reminding you, like,
she's reminding us all the time. Every time we get, like, a new scan, she's like, you know, like, God is in control, like, he's got this, whatever the outcome is, like, It's going to be okay.
Yeah. What a deeply rooted faith she has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it.
Yeah. That's awesome, Kendall. Your mom, we kind of already talked about this, but when I think of your mom, she's like a fashionista.
She's so cute. Like, I love, like, all her outfits.
She's like the cutest
She is.
mom ever.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous. And I don't know, it just, and like inside and out,
Yeah.
you know, so I don't know. I just, when I think of her mom, I'm like, she's the fanciest lady. Like,
Yeah,
She is.
she's just like beautiful.
yeah.
She's so pretty.
Yeah.
She was pretty fun at your wedding when we were getting ready.
Oh, I loved it. With
It
her
was
robe.
so fun that she, like, got to be in there with us.
She's like, put on lotion. Like, we don't have to talk about that. I don't know. It's just like, I was just like, oh, I like want to be her, you know, like, yeah, no, she's like, yeah, no, I
She's the
love that.
best. I love her.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so we asked our moms, we sent them some questions, and then we were like, answer these questions. And we were going to read them, their response. We wanted to have all three of them on, and they're just not ready for
Yeah.
the fame. So, no, they're
It's
just.
also hard to get everybody on the same schedule.
Yeah, it was like there was no way we'd be able to. We would have to have more of a heads up when we give them like 5 days. So that wasn't going to work. But the first question was, who is your eldest daughter? My mother answered Megan, because we're all the oldest daughters. Because you're the oldest, I'm the oldest, and then Chloe's the only daughter. So, so the first question that we asked our moms was, how did becoming a mother affect your faith and relationship with the Lord? So this is what my mom said. She said, when I first became a mother, I wasn't actively pursuing the Lord. He was pursuing me, but I wasn't making time to talk to him like I should have. I knew he was there and would always be there, and in many ways I took him for granted. But when I had Megan, everything changed. I quickly realized that if God loved me as much as I loved her, then I needed to nurture my relationship with him. It took several years before I felt like I could truly hear God. His voice, his nudges, the signs, the convictions, because I was trying to balance work, school, motherhood, and still make room to listen to him. Even in the chaos, though, I could still sense him guiding me. I wanted Megan to know God too, but I wasn't quite sure how to share him in a way she could understand, because I was still figuring it out myself. So early on, I started taking her to church every Wednesday and Sunday, and had her in Sunday school so she'd have that foundation. Becoming a mother made me want to know God more deeply, and more than anything, I wanted Megan to know him too. That's so sweet. I love that.
Oh, I would have thought my mom did hers last.
It was Melissa.
She was
Yeah.
like, she was
Turned
like,
in
when is
yesterday.
it due?
Yeah.
Okay. My mom said, it made me want to be better. I was now responsible for another person and their future walk. Oh, what did I just do to your phone? Okay. How could I do that if my own walk was not focused? I was always serious about my faith, but becoming a parent really showed me that it had to be real and consistent. It had to be my everyday. I keep doing that. It had to be my everyday to ground me and set my path, not only for my future, but the future of this precious child. As they grew and were being disciplined, it seemed like everything I was saying to them, I should really be saying to myself. I could see my own rebellion as I was trying to connect to them. As I was trying to correct them. Many times I felt ridiculous because my own plank was far bigger than the tiny speck they had. I think that we see our own walk with Yah more clearly as we raise our children.
That's so good. The swap.
So just to preface, before my mom had me, she went through a miscarriage, and that really like shook my mom and dad's relationship, their faith, everything. So she said, going through a miscarriage, I found out I knew about God, but I didn't know him until going through that painful experience. That's when my relationship with him began.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Me either. What is one thing your children have taught you? And my mom said, as a parent, we constantly worry about our children's well-being, their future, who they'll become, whether they'll follow the Lord, and if they'll make good choices. But my children have taught me that if we do our best as parents, they notice, even when we think they don't. They've shown me that even when they make mistakes, they can learn, grow, and recover. More than anything, they've taught me to let go and trust God. I've learned that I can't control everything, and I'm not supposed to. I've had to hand my worries over to him and believe that he's working in their lives. even when I can't see it. That kind of faith has brought me a peace I didn't know I needed. That's so true. Like, I think it's hard to go from, I can imagine that it would be hard to go from having young children when you're basically like kind of controlling everything that they do and like dictating the way that their day goes. And then all of a sudden, you know, like as they grow, you have to like change that dynamic and then like let them like go, you know, and it's like, that just sounds so scary. I can't believe my mom had to do that with 3 children. That's crazy.
I feel like I don't know what to say after I read them.
I don't think I have to say anything.
This one?
The second one.
Okay. My mom said, I think the kids have taught me lots of things, but the most consistent with all 3 is faithfulness. I am amazed by the faith of my children. They take their walk so seriously, and they know who to turn to first every time in a struggle. They have also made their faith their own, not just blindly following Matt and I. It is true and real for them. They are so bold and courageous. They spur me on to be a better mother, daughter, wife, and a child of Yah. I want to be more like them.
Oh, that's so sweet.
My girls have offered me wisdom on how to communicate with others in order to spare feelings. I am still a work in progress.
Why are you laughing?
Just because, I don't know, it's just like my family, I feel like we're all very like blunt with each other. So like Emery's thing is like, you have to say it a nicer way because she doesn't always take things super well. So it's like all of it, she's like, that was rude, you need to say it better. So
I think that's actually like such a gift though, to have parents that tell you like what they think.
No, I'm so thankful because now it's like I carry that on, you know? So it's like, I know I can like go to my mom and dad and like they are going to be completely honest with me. That's why like every like big decision, of course, like me and Micah talk about it, but I also like go to them because I'm like, I need y'all's opinion because y'all are so wise and I know like y'all aren't gonna lead me astray. So that's just funny that she but
because she's honest.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, the next question that we said was what's your funniest moment or memory of being a mother? My mom said, I can't pick just one. This is too hard of a question. My children have brought me so much joy. I will say that when Calvin brought the blower in the bedroom and Meg, Emily, and myself were in the bed and everybody was screaming and I was yelling, I can't take this anymore. She said, Meg will remember. We cracked up no matter what was happening in our home. The kids always ended up in whatever room I was in, even if it was the bathroom. This is where I get it, apparently. I actually know exactly what she's talking about, and I have this video, so I'll have to put it in the YouTube because we actually got that on video.
Like a leaf blower?
Yeah. He was
Where
like,
was your dad? Was he at work?
Probably, I don't know, but I remember Calvin was like blowing us with the leaf blower, and we literally were all like sitting. No. I think my mom was. He gave her a leaf blower and he was like, blow me, like push the button and blow the air on me. And she was like, okay, like I don't know why. And me and Emily were like on top of her kind of. And so she was like, he flipped on the switch and she was like blowing with it. And then Emily started screaming and she was like, I can't take this. Like, I don't know. It's just so it really is just like the funniest thing.
How old was Calvin?
I don't know why, but like I picture y'all like now.
No, this was like, I mean, Instagram existed.
Yeah.
I think I was a freshman. So he was 4 years younger than me and Emily was 4 years younger. So probably too old to be wanting to be air blown with my leaf blower. I don't know. It was just really funny. It was one of those tiny leaf blowers. And you'll see in the video. We'll put that.
I see a freaking American flag. I just need someone's phone.
No, Mom, give Mom the phone. Mom,
Okay, look, this is what I was saying. I was saying, like, oh my god, I should not take
Watch her say the shove it down your throat thing.
Yeah, probably.
So the question says, what's your funniest moment or memory of being a mother? And she put awkward silence. That's for Chloe. Because
We have that on video, don't we?
one
We've gotta show
time
that.
my dad tried to do something sweet for Mother's Day, and he asked me, like, had the camera on me, and he was like, what's your mom do that's funny or something like that? And I was like, I can't think of anything.
Mom do that's funny.
I feel like your mom takes offense to that, but I'm like, hey, I'm not the funny parent. I can tell you right now, so.
But she said, I think my children and my husband are hilarious. I feel like we laugh a lot, still do. I grew up in a home with lots of laughter. That was important to me, so thinking of just one moment is pretty hard. Many memories of Chloe teaching Matt and Noah. Then they would disrupt class and be sent to the principal, who was Micah. Chloe and Micah in the Barbie Jeep, lots of wrecks. Chloe pushing Micah in the doll stroller. Noah in all of his costumes. Noah making movies at a young age, having Chloe and Micah act out the scenes of Star Wars. With the age gap, the three of them always found a way to play and laugh and have fun. The worst but most hilarious always involved Micah in the car. Many times Matt would throw the car seat in the car and fail to buckle it in. I would only realize after we took a big turn in the road. Happened way more than I'd like to admit. Or the many times Matt would roll up his arm, leg, or head, yes, head, in the window of the car.
Wait. Yes, head. Like,
Yeah.
Micah
It was like
still talks about this moment of his head getting rolled up in the window and him just like screaming.
Matt just rolled it up.
He was like, what?
Who doesn't look at the window before they... Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, he just kept going.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Here you go. Top that. No, I'm just kidding. I want to hear about you and Emery and what was funny. Ah, that is so good. I feel like I chug it every time I drink it.
Just because it's
He said,
refreshing.
my fondest memories are times we sit around talking and laughing, which is like just like every night we would all have dinner together. And I mean, there would be times where we would just like sit around for hours, literally just talking and laughing.
I love
yeah,
that.
it was fun.
I like that she
I
can't
miss
pick
those
one.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's like, I don't know, every day was just hilarious. Like, I love that.
That is like such a big question.
It's such a
I
big
don't even know what
question.
I would say.
And I think it's, because like we all grew up in families where laughter is just like every day.
all the time.
Yeah, like just all the time. So, yeah. What do you think has stayed the same about you throughout your life? What do you think has changed? My mom said, what stayed the same, my relationship with my parents has been a constant in my life. They have influenced every aspect of my entire life. God has always been in my heart, even when I didn't make the best choices. What's changed? In general, my life has just evolved into what it is. With each child, I feel like I became a better parent. Not perfect, but better.
My mom said, I think I've always been calm and laid back, not in a laissez-faire way, but just my temperament. It takes a lot to get me worked up or upset. I think I'm still pretty laid back. I've always been fairly shy. This is what's changed. I've always been fairly shy or a reserved person. I do think I've become more outgoing for me. I have been forced to be put into roles more recently that have pushed me out of my comfort zone. Don't get me wrong, I'm still pretty reserved, but I'm able to engage in small talk with people I don't know.
The idea
I
that
would
she
say
could
that's,
not once
That's
do
very
that.
true, though. She has changed a lot in that way. Like when I would see her at Fort, I was always like, "Who are you?" Like she was
At
just like
Fort?
chit chatting with everybody. Like
Aw.
she'd walk through the halls and be like, "Hey, Keely." She'd be like, "Hey."
So what do you think has stayed the same about you throughout your life? He said, I think something that has stayed the same is my love for cleanliness. Which is, of course she put this because, I mean, I remember Saturday mornings, like, just trying to stay in bed as long as I could before the whole entire house had to be clean. Like, I just remember dreading
I feel that's gonna
Saturdays.
be
So
me.
I'm just
That
like,
you know what an awesome thing to teach your kids.
no, like,
how to
I'm so
clean?
glad she like
Dude.
taught me how, because now I can't stand messes, and
Yeah.
like when there's messy things, like that's all my mind can think about.
Yeah.
But I just remember as a kid being like, this sucks. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, no one's gonna see it. It doesn't matter.
I totally agree. Like, it's funny because so on Saturday when you would wake up, was it your mom that was like, get up,
Yes,
we're
we gotta
cleaning
clean.
house? Okay, so
And then we would have like a list of stuff we had to do, and we had to like mark it off. And then me and Emery would like try and
Ooh.
take breaks and like.
that sounds
make
fun.
It wasn't fun at 8 years old, but I appreciate that she taught me how to keep a house
What were you
clean.
having
Yeah.
to clean at 8 years old?
Like the bathroom, the bedroom, vacuum. We would like dust.
Things you're capable of doing.
Yeah,
Shiloh
but
can
not
vacuum and
something
he's
I
two.
wanted to do, you know? But like growing up, my parents were like always cleaning. Like the house was always just kept so nicely.
That's awesome.
And like now I go over there, my mom's like, oh, the house is such a mess. And I'm like, your house is so clean. Like there's not a speck of dust anywhere. But even Mike was like, y'all's house is so clean all the time. And I'm like, it's because my mom.
Keely's gonna be like, which is actually crazy because she always says like, I feel like my house is dirty, and I literally am like, Keely's house is like perfect. I don't know. So, but people live there. There's like a million people in her house every day. Like,
yeah.
and she's got like projects going. You know what I mean? They're like when you guys were renovating, did it drive your mom crazy? Like, because there
I
was
think
stuff
she
going
just
on.
she just had to be like, okay, like we're renovating. It's like it
Yeah.
just is what it is right now. Like they just like redid their bedroom and Emery's bedroom, and so stuff was all over. But it was like an organized chaos. Like I went over there and the house didn't look like torn apart. Like it was still clean
Yeah.
in the middle of chaos, which I don't know how she does that. Because I feel like I don't do something for like on Mondays. Me and Micah both get home late. The house just I don't pick it up on Mondays, and then like it's just like a wreck. Like I don't know like what we do
Yeah.
because we clean on Fridays. Like
Yeah.
that's our clean day, and then I like
Yeah.
kind of pick up for the week on Sunday, and it's like
Yeah.
the house is a wreck the rest of the week. So
Yeah, and you're like,
I don't know how she does.
don't even know how it got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that she taught me that.
On Saturday mornings at my house growing up, it was exactly the same, but like my mom, like she was a stay-at-home mom, so like her entire life was basically just like picking up after us, like cooking and cleaning, and she loved it. I mean, she did.
Yeah.
I know that she loved it. But like that was her. And my dad is a really orderly, organized, like clean person. But what he didn't like was like we would just be like lounging, like watching TV, and like at some point during Saturday, like I know he would just like snap because he would. Saturday was the day that we were all home together because he'd be home, and he'd just like see us lounging, and he'd be like, "Everybody, get up!" and you're cleaning the house. And he would be like, you can't help, Trina. Like, he'd be like, you need to help your mother.
Aw, that's
and so
sweet.
he would like make all of us like do laundry and like clean our rooms and vacuum. And I say make us, like, obviously that should be an ideal
Yeah.
responsibility. But he would be like, this is not right. Your mom is just like picking up after. So anyway, I love that my dad respected my mom so much to be like, you kids need to respect that your mother's
Yeah.
cleaning up after you. So anyway, it's just funny because I wondered if your dad was the
My
one
dad,
making
like-
you do that.
No. He like took care of like the outside like work. Like he still to this day does yard work
Yeah.
all the time, and Micah will offer to help him, and he's like, no, I got it, I enjoy it. And like so growing up,
That's
we
so
didn't
my
help
dad.
with yard work,
Me neither.
which
I've never done.
so thankful that
I
my
don't
dad
even-
didn't make me do yard work.
I don't even know what yard work is. Like, my dad's walking around outside. I'm like, what could he possibly be doing? But
my dad
then
is
the
always
yard
doing
looks
something.
nice.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We would always get comments from people from church being like, we saw your dad out there working, the yard looks so good. I'm like, hey.
My dad, before he met my mom, they got married. He got like yard of the month
Wow.
or whatever in his little neighborhood, and then they got married and they got it again. And so I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
they're always like picking weeds, and I don't know. Yeah,
I remember one time, like, during, like, quarantine, my mom was like, y'all need to go out there and pick up sticks in the yard. And me and him were like, pick up sticks? And she's like, y'all need to go outside. And then we were like, okay. Like, we've never done yard work. And me and him were just out there with buckets picking up sticks. And we were like, what is this?
That's so funny
I love
because
that you listened.
we We did yard work sometimes, but like I think about our backyard and Noah literally dug like a hole bigger than this table.
My dad would
How
be
deep
so
was-
mad if we did
like,
that.
that we like filled with water and swam. So our lives are very
There's probably like disease in there.
Even when like Augie like digs a hole, my dad's like, oh, like, he can't dig holes. He's gonna mess up our yard. And my mom's like, he's a dog. That's what they do. My dad's like, no, he needs to learn not to do that.
And then we also, at one point, when we lived in town, we just had like a giant field of corn in the backyard. Like,
Why? Wow.
Like in town, your dad planted corn.
and
Oh,
it
you
was like
planted it.
literally, like it was huge. I don't even know. We had a huge backyard though, but then they were so tall, like we would like hide in them.
That's crazy.
And you know what's even funnier is like your dad obviously is in landscaping, and y'all's like, I mean, the land and you know the part that's supposed to be beautiful, your dad makes beautiful, but no, it's like so weird. Like my dad and your dad and their like yard keeping is so different than your dad's like yard keeping, but they both like they all love it just so much. Like, yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, so your mom loves to be clean.
Yeah, he
Okay.
loves to be clean.
I love it. Okay, next. I also remember, like, from family photos that you guys have shown me that you guys just played with bricks in the backyard. There was just piles of bricks.
Yeah. At one point there was, because we had to we laid some brick in the backyard. So there was just like a big pile of bricks in the back
And
for a
those were
long
like
time.
your toys.
I guess.
Okay. That's so good. Okay, so we did the funniest moment. So this is now the last question. If you could go back to any age in your life, what age would that be and why? Did someone just walk in here? Oh, I heard it.
I think it was the
Yeah,
window.
it's like, I think it's the trees on the roof.
Okay. Anyway.
Earlier I was getting ready and it sounded like there was like a whistling in the house and I was like, what the heck? Like Mike is not here. Like who the heck is whistling? And then I was like, oh, like maybe it's Papa like out there. Like, you know, I can just hear him like on the other side. And then I come out because it's like I'm actually getting scared.
Okay,
It
I'm
was
like,
a
what
tree.
was it?
It
Tell
was
me.
a tree. It was like scraping
Yeah.
just right, and I was like, oh, okay.
There was one time I was
That's
down here by
weird.
myself and I was like hearing like scratching and then like pitter patter, you know, and I was like, what is that, you know?
Was it lying on the roof?
It was the trees and lion.
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
And
so
I
it was
was
like both.
But I was so scared. I like recorded it and sent it to Laramie. I was like, what is this?
That is really the scariest thing that ever happened to me when we were living here was there was a wasp and I was by myself.
I knew you were gonna say that because there's a day in the roof from where you threw that book.
I was home by myself. It was like 10 p.m. Micah was still in high school and he was up at the house. I knew he was up at the house.
yeah.
And I lived here and I think Noah was like in Nigeria.
I think we were hanging out when you were like texting him, and I was
Yeah,
like,
'cause
"You
he
need
didn't
to go."
show up.
I was like, "You need to go down there and help her," and he was like, "Nah." she's
Yeah,
got
it
it."
was so rude. I was here by myself. I was so scared. There was a wasp flying everywhere and I was just trying to go to sleep and it was just going everywhere and I couldn't kill it and I like couldn't calm down enough to go to sleep. And so it was like resting like, on the ceiling. And so I like took a book and just like threw it. And it didn't kill it, obviously. It left a huge mark in the ceiling over there.
I didn't know that's what that was from.
Yeah, and I did. And I texted Micah after that because I was like, I'm desperate. And I was like, please come down here and kill this wasp. Never texted me back. And you know where I slept? In here. In this room all night long. It was like 85 degrees in there.
That's
Yeah, no, I'm like actually like still really bitter about that. Like it makes me mad.
Well,
You
I
didn't
had one of
answer.
those camel crickets fall on my face in bed.
No.
So
And I've been stung by a scorpion. I was standing right there and I was like talking to Noah and I was like telling a story about something crazy that happened. And then I was like, and I looked down and a little scorpion's tail was stuck in my sock. And so I was like, and I like started moving my foot and its little tail and it was like,
I like my pajama pants were on the floor, and I just like left him there during the
Whatever,
day.
yeah.
And I like went to go put him back on, and there was a scorpion in them, and I didn't know, and it stung me several times, like in my face. I couldn't get them off fast enough, and I was like trying like ripping them off. I was like, Micah, help! There's something stinging me.
Help me take my.
That's terrible.
That is
Horrible. It hurts so bad. I got stung like 3 times.
Well, and like, you know, because they, yeah.
And if I couldn't not get out of bed, he was literally so slow. He's like, I didn't know what you were saying. I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm screaming. Help me. I was so irritated.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
But you won't leave him on the floor again.
No, I haven't. Don't leave my clothes on the floor.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm so sorry. Going back to I don't know how we got there. My mom said, I enjoyed being a young child and having the freedom to play outside and be with friends in the neighborhood almost daily. I have the greatest memories of going camping with my parents and going out to the lake, which is where we live now, and sleeping in the cabin. There was always lots of family and cousins around. My sister and I had an awesome childhood. My mom talks a lot about her childhood, and she's the mom that's like, when I was a kid, we walked to school. You know, like that's her. Like she loves talking about that. So, it's so funny. Here you go. Make sure it's her mom.
Okay. My mom said, one thing my mother told me after I had Noah was to enjoy him at every stage. I really took that to heart. And saying that, I don't think I would go back. I have truly loved every stage. My children are my delight. I recently told Chloe that my most favorite job was being a stay-at-home mom. I'm not saying every stage was easy or packed with excitement, but when you decide to love your job as a mom, we choose to be happy, we choose to like the life we are in. Then you do love every stage. Do I regret things I did as a mom? Absolutely, but I don't want to go back. I love my adult children. I love their spouses. I love to be in their company. They are all so smart, talented, funny, and beautiful. What a blessed life what a blessed life I live, not by my doing, but a true gift from Yah. Oh, that's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go back. I love where I am right now. My relationship with the Lord is closer than it ever has been, which helps me in all my relationships. Even though my mom responsibilities are changing, I'm enjoying the relationship with my girls as adults. Mm-hmm. Which I will say, like, me and her, I feel like we fought a lot when we were, I feel like all moms fight with their kids, but now it's more like, we're more like friends, I feel like, which my mom always said, like, you know, if you parent when they're kids, you can be friends with them later on, and I feel like that's how it is
that's good.
Now. So.
Like, don't be friends when they're kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Chloe, are these all the notes you have about Ruth?
Yeah.
I was like, I have some. I don't have that many.
I don't have any. I mean, I have them in my head. Okay, so we wanted to, we were talking about what else, like, we could talk about for Mother's Day, and I don't remember who suggested it, but we were like, let's talk about Ruth. Like, let's talk about the Book of Ruth, because obviously it's a journey about a woman and her journey with her mother-in-law. And I feel like this is just like her maternal figure in the story. And yeah, so I don't know. I guess, Chloe, since you got notes, you start. Oh, you got your Bible. How cute.
Yeah, because I had written notes from like a while ago when I read it, so I was like, oh, I'll just use these.
No, that's perfect, because I read it not very long ago. So I guess tell me if I'm totally butchering it.
Okay.
So Ruth is the daughter-in-law of Naomi, and Naomi also has another daughter-in-law, and essentially what happens is that Naomi's husband and then her sons die. How do they die? Something terrible happens.
It doesn't say. It just says they died.
They die. I just imagine something tragic, I guess. And so Naomi is left with Ruth, and does it say the other daughter-in-law's name? Orpah. Okay, I kind of remember that. And so it's their journey, and obviously during this time, like, women obviously relied on men in order to have like land and like security and all of that. So they essentially were left with nothing, and she was encouraging them, like, basically to leave her and to go find men for them, because she was like, what can I can't offer you anything. Like, I'm not ever, by the time I marry, if I do and have sons again, what are you gonna do? Like, wait for them, you know? And so they're like,
and isn't that in the scriptures, like, if your husband dies, you go back to your family?
And so Ruth, or Orpah, is like, she decides to go back to her family, and then Ruth is like, I'm gonna stay with you. And I think we should read like what she says, because it's so beautiful. Do you want to read it, Kendall?
Yeah. But Ruth said, do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God.
Yeah. It's like every time I hear it, I just think it's so beautiful. So anyway, essentially, I feel like what Ruth is really deciding is it doesn't have, not that she doesn't love Naomi, but I feel like essentially what she's saying is like, I want to be a part of what I came into when I married your son, which was essentially leaving another God and entering into this new, culture, which was the culture of believing in like Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which I just think is like amazing that she recognizes that what she had was true and real, and she decides to follow that.
Which also means that Naomi like did her job, and like raising her boys and then being an influence in Ruth's life too, because people wouldn't just leave just because.
Yeah, because obviously, and I feel like, Orpah, it shows the faith of Ruth as well, because it has to be individual. You can't just like come into a family and then like that's like what you believe, or like if you came from a different religion, she made her own decision, which I just feel like is just really beautiful. So then the story like continues, and I don't really remember how we get here, but basically Naomi and Ruth end up in a specific region. I don't know where they go. Where do they go?
Is it like
I think it said
It's like
I read it
they're like
yesterday.
in
I
a
thought it said
community of people.
Yeah,
where
community.
they meet Boaz.
Yeah.
when they came to Bethlehem.
And I just feel like it's so romantic. Like, I don't know. I want to make a movie about it, because so she ultimately, they end up in a community. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. We don't know all the details. Go read the story. And they find word that Boaz, who is a distant relative of Naomi's, which in the Bible that's significant, obviously, because if there's a relative of yours, typically, especially in their situation, it's a man. So that would mean that they might possibly have some type of, he might decide to like support them, basically. But what Naomi encourages Ruth to do is like go pick, and no, that's how it happens. I'm butchering it. Ruth goes to pick, to glean from the fields. And when she's there, that's when she runs into Boaz.
He like noticed her.
He notices her, and which is just like, oh, it's so sweet. And so because he notices her, he's like basically orders like the people that work underneath him, like, hey, like let her glean as much as she wants, as much as she can carry. So then Ruth goes home. She tells Naomi, yeah, there's this guy like named Boaz, and he was really nice, and he let me glean from his field. And Naomi was like, Boaz? She was like, this is amazing. Like, Yahweh has blessed us, because Boaz is a distant relative of, I think, hers, directly from Naomi, or perhaps her husband or something. I don't know. They're distantly related.
Yeah, I think it was her husband.
Okay, her husband. So they were previously related from that way. And Naomi also goes through a really big grieving point too, because
she goes through a grieving period so much that she changes her name to Mara, which Naomi means pleasant, to Mara, which means bitter.
Yeah.
Which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
That she changed her whole name.
Yeah. She's like basically changed her identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to reflect what she was feeling, which is like really sad.
Yeah, and I wonder how that was like for Ruth. Like, was she like upset all the time?
Yeah.
Like, was Naomi upset all the time, and like,
Yeah.
like I wonder if that was like almost like a burden.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So she meets Boaz, and Naomi essentially encourages her to continue going to the field and wait for an opportunity to basically present herself to Boaz. And as a theoretical, to humble herself before Boaz and to kind of explain their situation, and to see if essentially they could be like redeemed through Boaz's like mercy that he would have on them. And that's what happens. And it's kind of like happily ever after at the end, which is really beautiful, because he does marry her. And then I was talking to Noah right before we started recording the podcast, and I was like, because I was reading the genealogy and something the other day, and I recognized that David is a descendant of Boaz and Ruth.
Yeah, it says it at the very end.
Fathered Obed fathered Jesse, and Jesse fathered David.
Yes. I didn't realize it said it at the end of Ruth. I read it somewhere else. I just, for some reason, didn't really make an impact on me until now. And
I
then obviously
also
we
realized that this past time I read it. I feel like
Really?
I had never noticed that.
Yeah, and I just think it's so cool because obviously like Jesus came from, like, if you follow it all the way up, like Ruth was a mother of Jesus. Like that's so crazy, you know? So I mean not his mother, but you know what I'm saying? Like of So I don't know, I think that's really cool. And then obviously we named our daughter Ruth because we just think this story is so beautiful. So I love reading Ruth, and I remember before our daughter Ruth was born, we didn't know that it was gonna be a girl. We decided to wait, and so we were still deciding on a name and we didn't know, and I was like, I'm gonna go read like the Book of Ruth so that I like can really grasp and understand what this name means. And then like when our daughter was born, I was like, it has to be Ruth, like, you know, that's it. So anyway, yeah. Was that the summary and also our notes? I guess maybe. But it's just, if you haven't read the story in a while, I love it. It's such a good story for Mother's Day because it's like, oh my gosh, like a beautiful story of like a mother figure and like her daughter figure, and it's just like so touching. It's definitely a good one. Thanks for listening. We have new episodes every Monday, released at 5 a.m. We already butchered that, I guess. That's okay. That's the plan anyway. We are on all major podcasting platforms and obviously also YouTube. So yeah, thanks, and we'll see you next time.